that's going on out there.
Oh, I'm sure. I have nothing but sympathy for all the assemblies, and I'm sure that you're all going through lots of bumps as people rush into the assembly, and they're all newbies, and they're all bringing their indoctrinations and mistakes with them and arguing, trying to scissor kick everything one way or another. I can just imagine. I'm still dealing with my share of newbies too, and so every day I have the reminder of how deeply indoctrinated we have been and how terribly ignorant our educational system has left us.
It's so true. It's just shocking how bad it really is. And yeah, and we're just really seeing that a lot in the young people and in what's taking place right now. But it really has affected many, many generations.
Right. Well, I caused quite a controversy this week by actually telling people what it means when we say the United States and the United States of America. You know, oh, that has to do with the soil jurisdiction. That's our national jurisdiction. Oh, don't you think we should have been taught that in school? Yes. You know, all our lives we've heard the two names applied to our country, right? Mm-hmm. The United States and the United States of America, right? Mm-hmm. Why weren't we taught that in school? Why didn't we know that the United States referred to the soil jurisdiction and the United States of America referred to the land jurisdiction? Why weren't we taught that land and sea were international jurisdictions?
Right.
We were never taught any of this.
No.
And so who was?
Good question. Who was?
There had to be a cadre in the church that could understand the jurisdictions because they were aware of their system, right? Mm-hmm. And so they've been plodding along, doing their thing, keeping all of this secret, and organizing and leaving people ignorant and in such a decrepit state in terms of their knowledge about their country, their jurisdiction, how things were supposed to be organized versus how they are organized. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, now I hope I have people thinking in terms of layer cake and realizing why we always talk of it in terms of land and soil.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to point out that in the Sign in America training, we spend a lot of time on those jurisdictions, and we do specific training on the difference between the land and soil.
Yeah, but it's probably the only such program out there.
Probably.
You know, judging from the amount of crying, weeping, and gnashing of teeth and general fisticuffs that I kicked up just by explaining that much, we need to get the word out there. Somebody needs to write like a children's textbook and do illustrations with, you know, the layer cake area.
That'd be cute.
You know, I don't know what else to do. And this is stuff that I learned, but I find that when I discuss it with people that I grew up with,
yeah,
they don't necessarily remember it.
Well, I'm looking through your book. You know, something is wrong with. Don't you have pictures in here on that? The land and soil jurisdiction?
You know, it wasn't really a focus. I did describe the jurisdictions, but somehow this is one of those things where I thought, well, everybody knows that. And then I find out, oh, no, not everybody knows that. In fact, a lot of people don't know that. And they don't know why we call the country both the United States and the United States of America. And it has to do with the separation between the national jurisdiction of the soil versus the international jurisdiction of land and sea. And the reason that the founders did that was to isolate our soil jurisdiction so that it couldn't be attacked.
Interesting.
It was actually it was a cagey move on their part to isolate the counties within the states so that the states were the only way that the national jurisdiction could be reached was through the international jurisdiction of each state.
You've mentioned that before.
Yeah, otherwise they could have come in here and kind of picked off the counties in a piecemeal fashion.
Right. Yeah, brilliant move, huh?
Oh, well, we had some really, really intelligent and foresightful people. But they were better educated than we were.
Right.
By far.
Mm-hmm.
So, now we're going back and having to go through the whole business of basically relearning things that the forefathers knew and took for granted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, the 1776, what is he calling it? President Trump committee, or I forget exactly, that Trump just wrote about, and they highlight the fact that kids these days are taught to hate their country, that they feel that, they teach that we're racist, and they teach all these horrible things in our schools to our children. And he's calling for Common Core to be eliminated, and for the counties and the small communities to take on the responsibility of educating our children properly. I thought that was very interesting.
Well, I've often quoted Malcolm X on that topic. Quote, "Only a fool lets his enemy teach his children."
Yes, very well said.
So, as far as I'm concerned, also the one room classroom model, where you have different age groups that are what's in common is what they're learning, the level of what they're learning, not the age of the student. And that makes a whole lot more sense to me than what we've got going on today, where you create this artificial peer group and just arbitrarily section children off according to age. Because it really doesn't matter if Johnny is 12 or Johnny is 5. If they're reading at the same level, they're suffering the same, educational hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
They should be together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I thought that was very interesting, that came out and really called on some spot on pieces of information about the truth of what's going on in our world right now, in our country.
Learn how to become an American state national or American state citizen by navigating to www.theamericanstatesassembly.net. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting.